night is long and the path is dark. Look to the sky, for one day soon the dawn will come.
Hello there. This week I'll be talking about spirits. Not just spirits of the dead. Spirits from hidden realms. The thin veil that lays over our own reality, our own world, our own existence. They may not be seen all the time, but if you look around close enough, you will find that there is evidence of them all over, going back in history and even to present date. Certainly, people do not talk about it, but they see them. I'll start with the story of how I came to have 3 different spirits that I work with. The first spirit was stuck in my house. I do not know how he got there. 2 of my daughters share a room, and in this room, over the course of 3 or 4 nights, they were terrorized by something. Small, childlike body, but with a larger head. Large eyes, like an amphibian. Teeth. It scared them, very much so. Both of them had seen it at different times. They described the same thing. I banished this creature. I cleared the house through, cleansed it. However, all the while, this thing did not want to leave. It practically begged, in a sense. It was pitiful. Fast forward to about 2 weeks later, I am practicing the general rite of offering. This is where a witch, magician, practitioner, whatever you like to call it, calls in local spirits to offer up food, incense, drink, to build a rapport, a relationship, so that they may work together. Around the outside of the perimeter of my home was this small, 3-foot tall creature again. I grew curious, yes. So, I allowed it to partake of the offering. I found that it had a fondness for strong tastes and scents when it came to offerings. Pungent, earthy aromas and foods seemed to please it. I laid down a condition. This entity wished to remain in the house. I had reservations, however, there was one condition. This condition was that it did not scare, deliberately or otherwise, my children. This is where I found that this creature is a shapeshifter, a mimic. Not entirely a good one. It doesn't seem to mimic or shift to adult sizes. Small to largish mammals, yes. Children, yes. However, it cannot form colour. Any shape it takes seems to be black and white. It has held its end of the bargain, though. Oftentimes, my 2-year-old will sit in the chair just from waking up from her nap or coming in from the garden or whatever, and she'll wave at someone and call it her sister's name and ask how she is. And I found this is the case as well. As I was first trying to banish it, it took the shape or form of my eldest daughter. This is how it chooses not to scare my children. Fair enough. This creature is about 3 foot tall, as I said. Its skin is sort of dark bluish grey with specks of green. I, although not much of an artist, have included a sketch of this one. It was difficult. Its form kept changing to almost fish-like, but I did my best. One of my followers said it looks like a Patuk owl. So I have named it Patuk, for it doesn't really talk, it expresses emotion to me. This is a useful creature, however, so much so that it has taken a liking to residing in my children's room. This you may think seems dangerous. However, I assure you, it is now more of a guardian angel to them. It's gnomish. It is a gnomish spirit. It is mischievous. However, for some reason, it is absolutely terrified of being cast out of this house. I do not know why, and it will do almost anything to stay here and stay close to me. So, I took advantage of it. It is a symbiotic relationship in many ways. I, in a way, took pity on it. This creature, however, I have noticed, is not evil at all. Only the other day, I remember telling you that my children were asleep, and one of the baby's toys, I saw the baby's toy keep moving. As I looked from my peripheral and I gazed, I quickly caught it. There it was, my Patuk. It was playing with the child's toy, squatting on the floor, playing with it. It's curious. It seems to feed off emotions as well. The offerings help keep this at bay, however, and it has not broken the rules I set in place, so I see no reason to get rid of it. The second entity to come during a rite of offering, I do not know. The local spirits that I work with in my country are different to the ones that I am now starting to work with here. This creature stoops when it stands in my living room. It is, I would say, maybe 12 feet tall. It does not have hands, rather strange sort of stumps for arms. Its clothing, although not clothing, is more like a leathery skin that is loose around its thin frame of its body. It's sort of like a brown jumpsuit, almost. Its head is elongated. It is white, as though it is made of a cloth. It has no features whatsoever. It has no eyes, no nose, no ears, no mouth, no hair. Just an elongated head, a long, crooked, sort of bent, stooped neck. It seems to move using these long, gorilla-like stumps of arms and these legs. I have taken to calling it a sentinel. I do not know what it is and what its name is. It feels very old. It is almost indifferent to everything around it. It regards almost everything as though it is an ant underneath its foot. Such things are here in a blip of a second compared to it. It does not even give it a thought. I believe it comes back simply because the rite of offering, something draws it in, perhaps other spirits, I do not know. The sentinel, I stay out of its way. It appears, it looks around, it doesn't look at the house, it almost looks through it. It's looking almost to the horizon, scanning, which is why I call it the sentinel. It stands, sentinel, watching, almost as if some kind of an ancient guardian of this land. Yeah, as I said, this country is very alien to me and its origins. Perhaps there is someone out there who can shed light on what this could be better than myself. The third spirit. Now, this one is a bit tricky. I was not the first to see this spirit. Well, I was, but to fully see its form was my wife. I had performed the rite of offering earlier that day, and I felt a different presence. I saw the outline of something with horns. It moved quite quickly, black, hairy, but cautious. Fast forward to that evening, my wife is in the kitchen. She turns around and sort of screams and sort of almost falls over. She says she sees a man with the head of a goat. This was the spirit. The Greeks would call it a satyr. I suppose, and the ancient Celts would call it a bachanach. This, from what I understand, is one of the same creature, just interpreted differently. A sprite spirit, a form of nature spirit almost, goblin-like. Tall as a man, yes. Carrots seem to be its preferred offering. That and apples. This creature, I find, brings a form of harmony, although this one is shy and does not always attend the offerings. Yes, there is a nature element connected to the satyr, base primal energy. Also, there is a form of inspiration there. This deep primal inspiration comes from its energy. However, as I did say, this spirit is very shy. He lingers, he comes, carrots seem to work very well, and then he's gone again. However, he seems to leave something in his wake as he moves. It's almost like he leaves a wake of energy. This energy is difficult to describe. It smells... Let me rephrase that. It feels like what decaying leaves smell like, if that makes sense. This sort of rich, powerful feeling of this sort of ancient, can't really explain, but that's what he leaves behind. The rite of offering itself is something that can be personalized. The words, however, yes. Now, we've gone through the offerings. The technique is simple. The triangle, made with the hands or drawn, is the triangle of manifestation. This is a concentration to place offerings in. Offerings, however, must be purged of impurities using elemental magic. This is something else we will go over at another time, and I can also suggest reading for this. Then the words must be said of the deliberate will of offering and who you offer to, the invitation. Afterwards, the closing is necessary. Any that come in ill will must leave in peace and friend. This is how you build a rapport. These spirits are not divine. They are just like you and I. They are good and bad. This is important to remember. Exercise caution at all times. There are many different forms of offering. There are many different works of literature on the subjects. For me, I found the most practical and the easiest to use in a book known as The Sorcerer's Secrets by Jason Miller. This is an adaptable work. You can customize it to your own needs. You can even make it shorter so you can fit it in to a few minutes. It is not necessary for it to be a long, drawn-out thing, especially if you do it daily. So, familiar spirits can prove useful when using magic. They can aid in magic, add power to magic. They can also carry out tasks. These tasks can be anything from baneful magic to healing, depending on the spirit. They can send messages. They can go and find things. Knowledge can be imparted also. They also can be great wards, guardians. If the relationship is strong enough, they can help to protect you also. First, starting offerings, it is important just to observe. Do not ask anything of any spirit for some time. Similar to how you would feed birds in your back garden. They gain trust. By putting out offerings regularly, they will return. They will feel safer. This is how the relationship starts. It is up to you, however, to make it blossom. Oh, this was a rather informal conversation between me and this creature. Yes, I had a conversation with it, and I told it what's going to happen, and it's behaved itself since. I hope you found this enlightening and informative. Please like and subscribe. You have a blessed day. Goodbye.